Well, that didn't really work out the way I planned it. So, hey, we're live.
What's up?
I was going to bring everybody up, and the video just went right to the end. So here we are. We're live. I'm Jason. I'm the upper left hand.
To share yet.
Get rid of everything else real quick. So, working out the kinks on the new video. But yeah, it was this countdown video for a minute, and maybe later in the show I'll show it to everybody. But for now, NorCal Karters, Monday night. Or Ashley calls it NorCal Mondays. So tonight, this is the mechanic show, the karting mechanic show, and this is part 2. And we have Tavish McGrain on, we have Michael Michoff on, we have Carl Fries on, we have Ron White on, and of course we have Ashley on. And without further ado, let's bring up Tavish. Tavish, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right.
All right. So, for those who don't know who you are, give us a little background. Tell us who you are, your home track, what you do in karting. Go from there.
So my name's Tavish McGrain. I've been in karting for about 10 years now. Started NorCal Motorsports and then moved out to Snow about 7 years ago. Ran Cameron Karting for 5 years and then started my own team last April.
All right. So what are you doing this year?
Just running the team. I got 4 or 5 regular drivers for every Sonoma race, and then I got a lot of other drivers that are going to do 1 or 2 here and there, and a lot of recreational drivers.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Next up, we're going to bring up Michael Michoff. Michael, how are you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing good.
That's it? Got to introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, my name is Michael Michoff. I've been in karting for 15 years. I started out when I was a little kid, 2007. Right now, I don't race as much as I used to. Now I pretty much do I do driver coaching and data analysis with SpeedSense Motorsports on the West Coast, and then basically back east, I kind of do my own thing and just work as a mechanic / driver coach for anybody who needs some work.
So you're a mercenary for hire?
Yeah, for back east. Stuff.
For back east.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then let's see here. Next up, we're going to have Carl Fries.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing, Carl?
I'm doing good. Doing very good.
All right. So tell us about yourself.
I got into karting in 1993, so that's going on almost 30 years, 29 years of karting. So it's been a sport I've loved individually, as well as with my son, other family, friends, and now as a team. So pretty much seen everything there is. Going back to the old Region 11 NorCal stuff, back when NorCal Karters really started. So
very cool. And let's see here. Next up, we're going to have Ron White. Ronnie.
Yes. How are you doing there? So
Good,
my name's Ron. Oh, I'm doing great. I get to come on the show, get a little bit of entertainment for the night. So it's going pretty good so far. I got into karting when I was about 4 to 5 years old, which I'm 44. So 39 to 40 years ago. So quite a while.
44 your real age, or is that your racing age?
No, that's actually my real age now.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't really care anymore, right? So I got into karting. I did dirt oval. I did road racing. And then I got really interested in sprint racing. I came back to sprint racing maybe 18 years old, 17 years old. Definitely loved and enjoyed that. So I did that for a while. Tried to do the race car path and decided to come back to karting so I could hang out with my daughter, Dakota. And we got to spend a lot of time at the racetrack and built my company up around kind of her. And it was pretty enjoyable. I've been with CRG for many years. It's been a pretty enjoyable relationship. And we've done a lot more of arrive and drives lately, trying to get new people into karting because there's kind of a gap I've been trying to bridge from K1 speed to real racing. So I've been trying to get more people in and get them to see what our sport is really about. So it's been pretty busy with running the race team as well as doing that and many things in my life that keep me busy.
Well, and a couple of weeks ago, we had your sidekick, Ryan Martin, on. So he carried the torch for you on one of our past podcasts. So welcome to the show this evening. And last but not least, we have Ashley.
Hey, NorCal. So I had an opening. I wanted to give a big shout out to Donald at Prairie City because I was there this weekend and I was super impressed. Big fields. I posted a video on the NorCal Karters Facebook. And I was also super impressed, but I didn't get a video of the kid kart field that they had too. So kid karts, future of the sport. So love to see that. I want to give a shout out to my friend Kellyanne, who said that she watched the show. And she's like, "You're so talkative on the show, but you're so quiet at the track." And I was like, well, it's different. But what I meant was Josh was racing, so I really didn't have my NorCal Karter hat on at that time. But thank you for watching. Thank you for telling me you like the show. I was out giving out the new NorCal Karters decals, so that was fun. So my intro to the show was I actually made a mistake in calling this the NorCal Mechanics Show because 3 out of the 4 are actually team owners. So I apologize for that, but I do want to give you guys props for running your guys' teams and supporting NorCal karting. So thanks for coming on the show, and here we are.
I think a kart shop owner is just a mechanic that has to pay for the bills.
I'm pretty positive of that.
You're pretty positive of that?
It's more just like it stores carts. But storage is the best part.
I like working on it more than I do running the team, if you want to know the truth.
Oh, yeah. I've seen you at the track swinging some hammers and changing axles and changing seats. And, let's try this spindle and let's do this and let's do that.
Swinging or throwing hammers?
Well,
swinging is the polite way of saying it.
Yeah, more throwing.
So once again, thank you for joining us on the podcast tonight. You were live streaming to Facebook and YouTube, and we appreciate the time here. And should I answer that? It's like potential spam. I should have turned my ringer off.
I'm going to check mine right now.
I just checked mine as well. Yeah.
You just what?
I just.
I had a message from Ashley. Where are you at?
You're just now checking your messages?
Yeah. I told you I was eating dinner.
So let's go around the clock here real quick. I don't know if anyone really mentioned, I think Tavish did, but as far as your home tracks. So Tavish, we'll start with you. Where's your home track?
Well, it started at NOLA, but now it's Sonoma.
Now it's Sonoma. Ron
I've been
White?
in Sonoma now for 7 years.
Sonoma, and then basically I was going to say Ashley brought up Durbin's track. I went there Sunday for the first time in a while. Really nice. I was pretty impressed. We're going to try and go more often.
He's put a lot of work into the facility out there.
A lot. And it was, it's taken a lot of time and effort and pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, a lot of people have asked me, it's like, oh, why do you give Donald so much attention? It's like, well, he's doing a good thing for the sport. I mean, he's put a lot of time and money into the track. Granted, he's also a sponsor of NorCal Karters, so that doesn't hurt. But it's when you go to a track and you're always seeing changes going on. I was out there last Thursday and exiting turn 3. So a lot of people will know that as you come onto the track and where turn 3 exits, he paved that to give the karts a little bit more runoff. And not necessarily, I mean, all of you know, as a racer, if you give them an inch, they're going to take 2. But there was such a big drop at that part of the track. And I don't know if it's really going to be beneficial for guys to use all the concrete at that spot. But, he paved it in and just in the reasoning, he just goes, I got tired of people losing sprockets and chains right there. It's like, it's so simple. It's so every time I go out there, he's doing something nice with the track. So enough about Donald and Prairie City Karting, pckarting.com. Michael Michoff, your home track.
Oh, man. I think when I started racing, I probably spent an equal amount of time between Prairie City, Davis, and Dixon. That was for the first 3 years, and then from 2009 really all the way from 2009 up until now, Sonoma's probably, I'd say, my home track. I've spent the most time out in Sonoma versus all the other tracks in NorCal by far.
Very cool. Carl Freeze.
Well, my home track used to be the little track of Marina, but that we haven't had that for a couple of years, and I keep holding out hope that we're going to make something happen at Laguna Seca, but until I see something real, I can't get too excited about it. But
Come on, Carl, make it happen. Do it.
Trust me.
Do it. Do it.
Trust me. We're working diligently behind the scenes to make something happen. We've got some pretty influential people involved, but it's still political. It's run by the county, so we have a bunch of issues to deal with that. But realistically, Sonoma is going to kind of be our de facto home track this year. We're going to try and spend some time. We've been really enjoying running the rock platform at the Challenge of Americas. Prior to that, when we were just racing ourselves, we did a lot of SCUSA, and we're racing a lot in Southern Cal. But now, looking at it from a team and business standpoint, we don't have customers that are wanting to travel down south. We'd rather stay up north. So Sonoma's got the platform with the rock, and then also we're mixing some KPX here and there. But Prairie City, obviously, I've been close with Donald since forever, so that's something that's on our radar. We weren't there this weekend, but I think Anthony will be there with the trailer for the KPX race next weekend. But other than that, we're getting ready for Sonoma, Sanzaro race number 1, and then Challenge of Americas the following weekend.
Very cool. And Ashley, your home track?
I think
Kerman.
Like me, legit is Kerman Kart Club, but like in Kerman, okay, in Kerman.
The little, the old bull ring in Kerman.
Yeah. So, but now it's Sonoma. I've been going there since I think 2009 as well. And yeah, Sonoma, I'd have to say.
Sonoma. Well, speaking of Sonoma, 2 weeks we'll be up there for the opening round of Rock Sonoma. And then after that, we'll be back for the Challenge of the Americas at Sonoma. And once again, the Camerons, they're doing the live stream to YouTube of their races. So that should be a lot of fun. Last year was definitely a huge learning curve. And it was by the end of the year, I think we had a good product going out. And yeah, so we're doing it again this year, the live stream at Rock Sonoma. So as team owners that race at Sonoma, how do you guys feel about live stream and the additional kind of attention or exposure to karting? Start with you, Tavish.
So far, what I've heard, it's all been positive feedback. I love the streams you guys do. You do good coverage of the karts, not just showing the leaders, showing all the back markers and everyone else going on. The more live we have, the easier it is to promote the sport.
Yeah.
Right? Just being able to send to my family, my friends that aren't into sports, just sending it to them and them watching it. And I get texts every single time. Like, holy crap, this is what you do. This is pretty cool. So the live stream is definitely helping a lot for the sport.
Yeah, and when you say that, I think it's really cool that, like the Camerons, that one, they're the race promoters. Two, they have a kid that races the series, but they have family all over the world. And it's kind of cool hearing back that's like, oh yeah, that we're down in New Zealand and we can watch the race. Or, Kimberly has family on the East Coast and they can watch it live. The Rentalas under was Ron White, right?
Was.
Not anymore. Was.
I love Kimo. Kimo's awesome.
Yeah, they're a great
and
family.
Alex.
Yeah, they're a great family. It's like I call Alex Iceman because it's just I can't crack any emotion out of that kid.
I can get him laughing. Trust me, you can get him rolling. You got to say a couple of good things, and the little kid will crack.
Then he starts cracking. But it was just neat hearing how his family's in Europe and they're watching it live, and it just that outreach. Michael, how about you? What do you think about the live stream stuff?
I think it's cool. I mean, I wish I would have had it when I was running regional events. You know, I mean, it's like any other sport. Live coverage is extremely important. I mean, I can't
It's
believe.
hard to run cords on karts, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't believe. I remember one time I was sitting at a bar and I looked up at the TV and they had video games on the TV. I was watching a video game tournament at a bar, and I was like, why can't we have
When
this
was
for
that?
karting? Oh man, last year in Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Rocket League, and I'm like, if they're broadcasting video games on TV, why can't we have this for karting? So I think it's good that we have the live stream for Sonoma. It definitely helps for the sport, for sure.
Yeah, and that question actually comes up a lot. It's like, oh, why can't karting do this? Why can't karting do that? But ask yourself, out of all of your friends in your network, how many of your friends have karts in their garages? Or how many of them have a PS5 or an Xbox?
Yeah, most of my friends, when they hear karts, they think of Mario Kart.
Exactly, which is a video game. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're not going to give up. We're going to keep trying and getting karting out there and putting it in front of people. Carl, how about you? What do you think about the live stream stuff?
Well,
Do you have
obviously,
internet? I mean,
I have dial-up.
you have dial-up. Okay.
Dial-up. Yeah, dial-up.
AOL, you've got mail.
Yeah, any exposure is great. I mean, like Mikey mentioned, unfortunately, those video games are being broadcast because they have major sponsors behind them that are household names and Sony, whatever. Unfortunately, in the karting world, a lot of our products are European, and they're not advertising over here. They're not spending dollars with corporations and have a big demand for it. So, it is what it is. But any exposure is great, and obviously, being able to use it as a tool as a business owner to steer a potential customer to say, hey, if you can't make it out to the track, here's a link, watch these, you get an idea of what's going on, and then hopefully it'll at least get somebody's juices flowing a little bit about what we're doing.
Yeah. No, it's interesting how you say, video games, and it's like, oh, where's karting? But yet the headline sponsor at Sonoma is a video game company. And then you look at it backwards. Like, when was the last time a video game was sponsored by a kart? Anything. It's a reality. Like, it's not a bash. It's just the reality. And that's why I love hearing about, Ron really pushing, trying to bridge that gap for that K1 racer to get them into a real race kart. Because that's the toughest thing. You can't go to K1 and do a partnership. They don't want to lose their customers. And what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to send you customers like one a year. It's like all they have to do is drop a couple grand on Google ads or whatever. But yeah, so Ron, keep plugging at it. Ashley, what do you think about the live stream?
I like it. I think having it again to be able to send to people who aren't in karting, and I think also a lot of karters like seeing themselves. So, because let's be real, like when the photography people come out, the first thing you're doing is like, all right, how many pictures of me do you have? Okay, let's talk about those little blue, like the little kaleidoscope looking picture things, right? It was always like, where am I at? And I think now having it on YouTube is kind of like getting that same reaction, like, oh, I'm on YouTube, look at my race on YouTube.
Well, speaking of racers and wanting to see themselves, hey, Tavish, wake up. Since I botched the botched, is it botched? Botched. Since I botched up the intro, I could play it real quick for you guys. This is what I was working on. I know it's cheesy, but I don't have a videographer background. But this is what I was working on, and this was supposed to be my countdown into the show. What's that, Carl?
We call it ghetto tech.
Ghetto tech. Yeah.
Ghetto tech.
It's copy and paste videography.
That's it. Whatever works.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if I can get it to play this time. So that was supposed to be the intro video. And a couple of weeks ago on NorCal Karters on our Facebook page, I asked our followers, send me pictures of your kart numbers. I was looking for 0 through 60. Some of you understood the assignment, some of you didn't, but that was the reasoning. And it's a work in progress. Like I said, I'm not a videographer. I have zero artistic ability. And,
really?
Really? Yeah.
Did that explain your haircut?
Yeah, I actually made myself a haircut about an hour ago.
With a Flowbee.
Like, you guys are laughing. I'm like, no, I did. So let's just see I don't know what the back looks like.
Oh my God.
It looks good, buddy.
That was not scripted, folks. I had no idea that was gonna happen.
I still don't know. I have to look back at the video to see what the back looks like. But
you invited me, Ashley.
Yeah. I got tired of paying $20 for a bad haircut. So I bought a pair of clippers for $25. I can give myself my own bad haircut. I've already done it 4 times. So I'm like $75 ahead. Although I don't know what the back looks like. I'll find out tomorrow.
Yourself that.
So bad.
Don't worry about the back.
Don't worry about the back. Well, I wasn't going to check.
Oh my God.
But I can't see the back.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the transition from juniors to seniors. Okay,
Haircut.
Some kids make it early, some kids wait.
We're talking about transitioning.
That are like, you have those kids that are like, I don't want to race juniors anymore, and then they move up to seniors thinking, like, I was so good in juniors. What are some things you say, like, as a driver coach now and working with customers and stuff like that?
Can I say something?
Yes.
So for me, I had a couple of kids. They were twins. They moved from junior to senior in WK a few years back. And they ended up, the kid's name was Jake and the other brother. They ended up there smoking fast when we moved up into senior. We spent a lot of time testing and, doing the WKA. The biggest problem they had was they were too nice. Juniors raced next to each other through the corner and give each other room. Seniors, when you get to the exit, they drive you off the exit. So they were fast and they got put off multiple times, so that you got to be a lot meaner on track. Like, nobody's your friend on track. So at the end of the day, you need to, like, make sure, you don't leave the inside line open.
Okay. Good advice. Tavish, did you want to chime in?
I guess it just depends on why they're moving up. Are they moving up because they're ready to move up, or are they moving up because of age or weight, which is getting more and more common these days? If they're going up for weight or age, you just got to make sure they can do the best they can and prepare them for what's going to happen. If they're ready for it, I think some of these juniors, like we've seen it with the minis moving up early into junior. Like, I think once like Christian and Preston and those kids are ready to move up to senior, I think they'll be okay. It's the kids that move up when they're not ready that we have to be careful with.
Yeah, true. Carl?
Well, we haven't had any customers yet that have, at that break of going up. But back at my own experience with Anthony, when he was moving up, it was it was more because of weight. He was a chubby little guy, and he he just, it was like, and then I was worried about it, because you think about it, here I'm putting too much thought into it, and I'm like, oh gosh, he's gonna, he's what was he, 12? I think we put him in a S5 shifter,
4 foot by 4 foot.
yeah. And so when we're looking at the cadet, and it's like, okay, so it's so much smaller. I hope he's going to adjust to the bigger go kart. So we put him in. At the time, I was racing Tag Masters, and we put him in my chassis with a Rock TT on it, and it's set up at Masters weight with me, who's a lot bigger than he was at the time. And he goes out there like nothing. Doesn't put a wheel wrong, just like comes in, smile on his face, and I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess you have it. There's nothing to it." So I think sometimes we can overthink what the kids are going to expect. And obviously, Anthony's raced a lot since he was young, so he was ready to go up when he went up, even though he was young. And we still, I mean, he's not a big kid now. He's thin, which is now in his shifter. We've got 40 pounds of lead on his go kart. And but we still have issues because he's not a tall kid. We're always fighting getting the pedals positioned right with the seat position and all that kind of stuff, though. So I think that's one of the bigger challenges, is the kid's size, depending on when they move up, and getting them fit properly to where they're comfortable in the go-karts.
How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is just the like Josh commented. There's a lot more thought process into the racecraft. When you get into senior, you got drivers who are thinking, okay, do I pass this guy right away, or do I work with him and try and catch the group in front of us? Saving your tires. I mean, there's a lot of different things that seniors will think about versus juniors. But for me, I mean, personally, for me, the transition wasn't a big deal. But when I moved up, Rotax was still a big thing, and I wasn't able to move up into senior Rotax until I was 16. So by that time, I feel like you're a little bit closer to the maturity level, to where it's not as big of a change. Whereas now you look at seniors, and you got 14-year-olds, 14, 15-year-olds racing seniors. And I'm like, I'm 22 years old, and when I hop in a senior class now, I feel old. I'm racing a bunch of
You feel old.
Yeah. Ron, don't get me started.
All of us straw hung right now.
No, but
Yeah,
I
seriously,
rolled up to
I'm
the
not-
grid. I was like,
for a second.
I roll up to the grid. I roll up to the grid last time. I'm like, so who's gonna call me daddy after the race?
Yeah. So, Ron, I have a question for you.
Yeah,
Will you quit before you run Masters?
Fuck yeah, you will.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Please do.
I mean, for me, the thing is, I like the competition level, and I want to push myself. And the level I raced at when I was younger was super high.
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, I don't want to like show up and do it half-assed and still win. If I win, I want to really feel like I earned it. I don't want to get lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. You said so. Earlier, you said you were 44 years old, and
Yeah.
so as you transition and as you get older, how much harder or how much more effort do you need to put in to go as fast as you think you should be going?
The problem is the older you get every year, you need to actually practice a little bit more. You get out of shape faster, so you need to consistently practice a little bit more. And if you don't, you're going to fall out of shape way quicker. So for me, it's like I got to jump in the cart a little bit, get into shape. So when you go race, it's like you're working on being super precise. You're going fast. You're making changes. You're not holding on,
Yeah. Do you think for you it's more mental because it's like your mind is telling you this is what you should be doing, and your body's kind of like going, maybe not right now.
Yeah. Well, the mental aspect is huge, right? Like for me, I understand what I need to feel and what I need to do. The problem is I get so many things going on around me with owning the company, working on the stuff where it's kind of like when I get in the go-kart, it's like vacation time. It's peaceful. You don't have to deal with bullshit. So for me, it's always like I truly love what I get to do. I get to do testing. Like I went to Sonoma today, do engine testing, and it's like it's a lot of fun.
And
I
you were
enjoy
driving
doing it.
yourself?
Yeah, I drove myself all day, tried a lot of engine stuff, and try and make stuff better. So
What'd you do?
then
What were
next
you
week,
working on?
just a lot of making it faster.
What worked?
What worked? The stuff that made it faster.
What didn't
I
work?
saw those signals like this when you were coming to the pits for Ryan to give you a screwdriver for the air screw.
There you go. That was one thing.
Yeah. So what didn't work?
I watch.
Yeah, what didn't work? The stuff where you went down the straightaway and I lost 1 to 2 mile an hour. That did not work. I love that. Do you want like a jet size, a reed size? What are we looking for here?
Are you pinning your jets?
Oh yeah, for sure. All my race team stuff, definitely. I use a big hammer to put the pin in as well. You know.
There you go. Now, what is the jet pins that you're using? Rotax ones that are off,
Okay.
or
I have a
You
question.
know, I have a manufactured jet pin deal that I buy from a company that's pretty precise,
okay?
and it's just one whole kit. There's about 600 of them. So I'll show you one time when you come over.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, after you go for it.
So, what was the hardest thing to do to transition between being a driver to a driving coach? Carl, you can. Well, you look like you're thinking.
No, I would say for me as a driver, when I was doing it, like I said, it started in '93. I was 23 when I bought my first go-kart, and I did it to just go off on my own and do my own thing. So, you know, a lot of what I learned driving was all through feel, and I could come off the track, go to my pit, and make the adjustment that I felt was going to work. And I didn't really keep notes and all that. I just did it by feel. So the importance of working with somebody else is taking good notes, seeing what worked with them, what doesn't work. I mean, we have our baseline setups, but once they start giving us feedback, we know what direction we're going to go, and then just taking good notes. Like I say, I mean, it's funny because, like you mentioned, the little blue eye thingies, the pictures that we used to get years ago. I have a box of those things, and I mean, I have some stuff that's in a box that's like from ancient, and it's funny to look at those things. But in there, I also have some notepads, little notepads where I would make notes, and they are so freaking hysterical to. I'm like, how was I actually fast if this is how I was like basing, like I was like measuring the rear end. And now granted, this is back on Invaders in, 93, 94.
Yeah, those things.
Yeah. You know, where we're running a little 1.25 axle, or 1.125, I think we were on back then even. You know, I remember when the 40 mil axles came out, it was like, holy crap, what is that? But just
Sorry, my ADD kicked in.
Things are, working with customers, it's very important to have our baselines and then make notes is what the driver's like. But then again, you also have to educate the driver, because we've had some drivers that, want to try and tune the go-kart the way that they tune a Praga or an Intrepid or a Tony kart. And it's like, that doesn't work on a Burrell. Okay. I don't want to tell you what we do, but we're not fast enough anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Well, what do you do? So what do you do?
Well, actually, it's no secret. I don't care. The Burrell
What axle?
The Burrell 90% of the time we run the stock axle. And you work a lot on the front end, the way they interchange the front stub axles. You change the stiffness and hardness on the front end, and occasionally we'll mess with the rear end, but typically you're doing 2 or 3 steps on the front end before you even think about touching the rear axle. So, and some guys start wanting to go cut axle, I'm going to run MXCs with the OTK hub and this. It's like, stop. Just let's go this direction right here. And exactly. Yeah. And it's just like, no, let's go this way. And so you have to educate them a little bit.
Try hitting the apex first.
Well, no, I had a customer that we're working with, and I told him, the lap times were like between a second and it was a cadet, and so it was a second to a second and a half between lap times from lap to lap, and I was like, I can't tune that. I'm like, when he can run within 3 or 4 tenths, I'm happy from lap to lap. Then we can start making adjustments. It's like, he has to put in his work before we can even start doing anything.
Yeah. All right.
Who was that?
That's me. You heard the little blue thingies. I got ADD'd out.
Yeah. Michael, do you want to add anything about the transition from driver to driver coach?
Oh man.
He's still learning to drive.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
He's still a baby.
No, I think
it's like
anything else.
He still thinks he's going to jump in the cart and drive.
Hey, I can do it. All right.
I can do it.
At this.
We're losing him.
Uh-oh.
Even his phone says, dude, you're in denial.
Matt Dixon said, don't suck. That's all I got. All right. Well, while we're waiting for him to come back, Tavish or Ron, any of you want to take the question?
And the question was, I'm kidding.
The transition.
No, I know. No, the transition from doing the driver to driving to doing the coaching, I think it's a really huge benefit, because the problem is you get people that coach and never driven, and they don't understand like the feel that's going on. So if you can explain it to somebody, you can get them a lot further on. So for me, I think it's a great transition. It's not too hard, but you learn a lot trying to train people about driving in general for yourself.
Yeah. That's true. I have heard that before. All
All
right.
right, so I got a question. Can I jump in?
Yes.
Oh, here it
You're
goes.
like, I don't know. All right. So, being that we'll wait for Michael. You back with us, Michael? Sound check. Hey, Michael.
There we go. I can hear you.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
right.
so we moved on. So I got a question for everyone, but we waited for you for the question. Since all of you have been around the sport for a long time, looking back from where you are now to where you were, and probably maybe as a driver, but also more as a driving coach or a mechanic, what would you say that looking back, where your biggest growth has occurred? For example, with me, when I was first transitioning away from a driver into coaching and mechanicking, I was definitely one of those a-holes on the fence. It's like, oh, just take them out. Just do this. Just do that. And kind of not understanding certain things. And then I look at it now, 20, 25 years down the road, it's like, that would not be the first thing out of my mouth. It would be completely different. So let's Tavish falling asleep on us.
I'm just looking at my phone. Sorry. I'm looking down.
That's called passing out. Passing out. Let's get it straight. Yeah, that's not sleeping.
So, Tavish, did you get any of that, or were you reading your phone?
No, I got most of that.
Oh, okay. What's your answer?
I think the biggest thing for me over the last 9-10 years has been mostly as a mechanic. I've hit a point now where I don't even really have to think about the work I'm doing. Like, I just trust what I do. When I work on a kart, it goes out on track, and I'm not stressed at all about it. I kind of got to that point about a year or two ago. And once I hit that point, it's so much easier now. Like, I just trust my work. And even 4 years ago, I didn't. So
now it's only one pack between heat races? No? 2 packs. Oh, hey, Ron, show your mug. I missed that.
Oh, my mug.
Yeah.
So here we go. It's classy. Got to keep it classy over here.
Tavish has a classy one, too.
We talked about it before. I went for the making bacon, and he picked his.
I went for the IKEA.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so like,
Fancy.
who wants to go next?
You're already talking. Go for it.
Okay, so myself personally, like, I've just had to learn how to deal with people a bit more. Like, because I was so cutthroat when I was younger, I would go to the track. I didn't give two fucks at all, right? And I would just go to win, and I did not give a shit about anything. So I learned how to deal with working with mechanics more, working with the drivers more, knowing when to shut my mouth, to keep it a little more politically correct. So for me, that's been my biggest growing part. And I'm way better than I used to be. I'm not perfect, but the thing is, learning how to deal with customers, drivers, and so on's gone a lot further. Just like you said, Jason, years ago, you might be like, yeah, take the guy out, but it's not the right way.
Yeah, that was kind of my go-to. It's like, if you can't get him out. And then now I watch other racing, and it's like, yeah, I was that guy condoning that. And then now I look at it, and it looks like a shit show.
Yeah. It's not professional looking. It's not precise. And
there's no talent to crashing someone out.
Yeah.
I remember one race where Boswell moved me out of the way, and I was pissed. And then I was like, at the same time, I was like, that's beautiful. Like,
it was smooth. It was like a little bit of a push.
Yeah.
Made your car push on the way, and you slid wide. He went by you. And
that was exactly what it was. My head didn't bounce off the rear axle. I wasn't going into the wall. It was just like, shit, I'm not making the turn. He was the only one that went by me, and it's like, damn, I'm mad, but that was beautiful.
So did you crash him after that? That's my question.
Did I what? No. He was faster. I was holding him up. Michael.
Yeah.
So, did you get the first? Were you on when I asked the question?
I cut out like in the middle of it.
Okay. Exactly. So the question was, looking at yourself now, and going back to when you first started transitioning to doing driver coaching, where has your biggest growth been as a coach?
Oh man, I think it's just my attitude when I speak with them. Some kids you can you have that leeway of being a little bit more mean and stern when you tell them what they're doing wrong, and other kids are a little bit more sensitive, and you kind of have to sugarcoat things. Oh, you didn't do that bad, but we could work on this. Where it's like, you really want to say, hey, you screwed up here, and that's why this happened. But not all kids you can say that. Some of them you gotta be like, oh, you did your best. So I think that's probably one thing I've worked on, is reading my clientele, who I'm working with, and how I can better communicate with them.
But
Michael,
not everybody
really
gets a
did your
trophy
best on this podcast.
Yeah.
Carl?
He gets a trophy?
I have participation trophies for being on tonight.
What's that?
I was asking if we got participation trophies for being.
I have one around here somewhere. I keep them. Yeah.
I was really looking forward to it. I think very much like what Ron said. Growing up, my family's been in drag racing for years. I grew up around the drag strip as a kid. They got into go-karts, like I say, just to kind of go off and do something on my own, because the single elimination quarter mile stuff was not for me. And I kind of had the same attitude Ron has, hey, if you don't like it, take it, leave it, whatever's going to happen happens. But as you have clients, you have to adjust your attitude at moments. But then again, most of my clients, and I explain this to all of them, and especially to the kids, is that it's okay if I see you get upset. It's okay if I see you get mad, because that shows me you have passion about what you're doing. And I have passion about what I'm doing. And so there's going to be times where I do get mad, and I may say something that somebody doesn't like. I try to curtail those moments, but it may happen. But it's because I'm passionate about it, and I want the kids to be passionate about it too, because there's too much blah in this world. And you take away all the money and the time that we invest to do this, and the only other thing that's left is passion. So if you don't have that, I really, not to say I don't want you, but
Yeah.
I want to see that. I want to see a kid with passion. I want people that understand that I'm passionate, and I want the best. When anybody's in our pit, whether they're a customer, a mechanic, whoever, they're family to me. So that's just the way I was raised. If you're with me in my pit at the racetrack, whatever, you're family. So,
Yeah.
So Ashley, let's spin this around a little bit. Because you're not a mechanic,
Mm-hmm.
are you waving me off? Like, no.
No, I was gonna spin in my chair, but I don't have enough room.
Oh, okay. So, for those that don't know, Ashley actually handles a lot of the admin, back end, registration, scoring, a whole different role than the rest of us. So, you've been around it forever.
Yes.
Looking back 10, 15, 20 years, what would you say, where's your biggest growth been?
I would have to say it would be like not putting up with people that expect me not to know anything. So when you kind of just assume that I'm just there and don't really know what I'm doing, I'm not nice.
Are you directing that at me?
No. But it's kind of like, and I was going to make a comment too, like when Carl's talking about all these changes with MXCs and quarter-inch axles and all that stuff, it's like, I know what he's talking about. All right. So I'm not dumb in that sense. So don't come at me like you think you know more than I do. And when I was younger and kind of not really as not really as stubborn, I guess, and would follow more rules, I don't think I would be able to like just be like, all right, look, I can help you, but you have to listen to what I have to say too. So, and I mean, for example, there's times that Ron and I have gotten into it over pit passes,
Ron White? No.
Me never.
No. Like, all of us are shocked to hear that.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, yeah, but my biggest growth is like I would have went from how can I deal with this to now I'm just dealing with it type.
No, you shouldn't let anybody push you around. It's good.
Yeah. I think for
Right?
Ron, it's probably just a matter of winning. But it doesn't matter what it is. Like, well, I'm going to win this pit pass battle.
I just want to win.
I just want to win.
No, but I'm always really nice to her, though. I'm always nice to you.
Yes, he is.
You're nice to everyone, Ronnie.
Everyone.
I'm nice. I try.
And then since we have Ashley, we have Connor's bald spot.
Oh.
Has a question. For the end of the podcast, when is the next junior show? We're not doing it at the end of the podcast. We're doing it right now.
I have a potential date in April, guys. April. So send me a message and I'll put you on the standby list. So let me know, Connor's bald spot. But
junior podcast, that'll be entertaining.
So back to
we did one a couple weeks ago. It was pretty good. The kids we had on did a great job.
Andy commented, Ashley is definitely Josh's tuning phone a friend. Well, what's funny is like for me, I can relate it. So now we have a kid, right? And so we watch Cars 3 all the time. So now when he explains stuff to me, I'm like, no, you just need to tell her that the school bus of death is after her and she needs to get going. Okay. So I do sort of do that, Ron, but not in the way you're giving me too much credit for.
Right.
So Ron's fighting for all of us. Your pit pass fees and app. Well, I don't control the pit passes. the pit pass fees or the app, sir, but come talk to me to my face about it.
No, the fees I'm fine with. I hate the fucking app. The app sucks.
Yes,
That thing's horrible.
They put me in contact with the people that are behind it. So I'm fighting for you guys. And
they have no idea.
Go.
They have no idea how to what karting is compared to doing the app. When you do that app you guys have, it's like, what else information do you want? You want my social security card? You want my bank info? Like, where does the information go on the app for entering the race? It's ridiculous. For me, pay money, simple, sign the waiver so no one gets sued and get down the road.
Yes.
But it's not that easy.
That's insane.
Well, no, but for real, I am. They did put me in contact with the people that are working on the app. So I'm taking all of our concerns to them. And I've also been working registration too. So I think that kind of helps that I do know that stuff. So that way I can be like, look, this is there's a way easier way. So
Yes.
I hear you. And I'm working on it.
So I never take surveys, but can you tell them to put a survey out there for every driver and they will definitely reply to their survey. And it will not be A1. It might be down on the bottom.
Yeah.
There's got to be a simpler way.
For sure. No, there is. There is.
Rock Sonoma's going to use it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to use that app again?
Kimberly or any of that. Talk to Garrett. Talk to Rock Up USA. If you don't like the app, go directly to the people that made it.
Yeah.
As long as Rock's using it, Steve's going to use it.
Yeah.
Oh, I gave phone numbers out, and I'm like, here, contact Garrett if you don't like the app. Contact Garrett if you don't like the app.
Garrett.
Here's his number.
Hey, Tavish, what's his other phone number?
Oh, you want me to post it?
The other one? Yeah. Apps are nice. But to me, the beauty of karting is its simplicity. There's nothing simpler than sign and pay.
Yes.
Money,
and
cash.
I'm super fast too. I can get you in and out quick if you don't irritate me.
I wonder if Andy likes cash when people pay. Cash.
I don't know. Let's see.
Andy, cash, Apple Pay, tell us.
What the
fuck? Hey, Andy will be on in a couple of weeks.
We actually haven't had Andy on in a while. I love having Andy on. Like, he really should just have his own show.
All right.
Sorry, guys. I just got a popsicle.
You just had a popsicle?
Here we go. So, we're going to head into final thoughts because I do have to answer questions about the shows that we got coming up. So,
well, I'm not done yet.
We're going to go around.
Andy and I are just warming up.
Shout outs to your team. We just got 3 comments in a row. Okay. Who's on your team, where you're going to be at, what your 2022 plans. Okay. Tavish, we'll start with you. I'm going to get the comments sorted out.
All right. So I've got Rock Sonoma. I've got Josh Buttafuoco, Balin Venkatesh, Dylan Turner, forgetting a 4th one. Neil Joseph's going to do a couple of them. I got another new junior that's going to show up for the 2nd race. So pretty solid little program for the local stuff. And then about 2 or 3, they're going to do all of Challenge or the last round of Challenge, Rockfest in Vegas. So pretty nice year, focusing on my recreational drivers. Good stuff at Sonoma. Also, they're open on Saturday. It's not on the schedule, but they're opening on Saturday this weekend.
John Smith, did you hear that? John Smith.
John Smith, where you at?
Ronnie's going, who the fuck is John Smith? Chris Martin.
All right. Ron, who do you got with you this year? What are you excited about? Where are you going to be at?
I mean, I'm really excited about the Rock Sonoma races. We're going to run all the races there. It's right in my backyard. That's why I moved up here. We're going to do some of the Prairie City races. So we're going to get all the two-stroke stuff for that. We're going to run Supernats. We're going to run Rock Vegas. We're waiting for Garrett to actually get a schedule for Vegas, when it's going to be, where it's going to be. So hopefully we can lean on him a little bit. And then, yeah, for drivers, I got my normal Ryan, Martin, Patrick O'Neill, Kevin Woods. There's some brand new ones from the Arrive and Drive that are actually going to come out, start racing. A lot of master tag in the GP Rock class. So I'm just trying to get those older guys into that class to keep that rolling. So besides that, should be a fun year.
Hey,
Hopefully I
Ronnie,
don't-
hold on for a
Yeah.
second. Are you
Yeah.
running CRC, Andy's deal? California
I'm
Rock
gonna
Championship?
I'm going to run the CRC. I should be running that. Being Andy's on here right now, would probably tell him that. There he goes. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, that's
So I'm looking forward to that. Andy just kind of rolls with it, and it's a lot of fun going to his races. The challenge we've definitely enjoyed. It's been a lot of fun going to, and they run a really good program.
If
So-
anyone wants to hire me for Pat's Acres, I complain. I don't work in the rain. I don't like long hours, but I love
He
Pat's.
has a bad haircut.
My haircut's
He's-
beautiful.
He's
Have you seen the
terrible at
back of it?
announcing.
Have you seen the back?
Okay.
That's like the Floby.
Who wants to
I
go next?
tried to buy a Floby. They're like $200, and they were on back order for 8 months. Not joking. I really looked into it because then I didn't have to
Oh my
cut the
God.
hair. Like, yeah, it was like 8-month back order for a.
How about this? I'll give you a deal. You come over, I'll cut your hair at the next race. In the pits. Done.
Well, there is an ongoing.
mean, why
thing
not?
that-
Okay.
We have an
Carl,
ongoing thing.
Carl.
If we hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'm gonna shave a stripe down the middle of my head.
Hey Tavish, you hold them down. I'll shave it next
A
race.
reverse mohawk.
Wait, where's Jimmy Gregory when you need him? Uncle Jimmy right now. He'll give you a reverse mohawk. Sonoma
Okay,
Challenge.
Carl, save it. Shout outs, plugs. Who do you got on your team? Where are you gonna be at?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to finish out the challenge series. We're going to run CRC and then Rock Sonoma. All their club races. We're going to mix in maybe some Pro Tour stuff, not NOLA, but maybe Utah and Indy. Drivers, we have Anthony, my son. He's going to run shifter. Will Ferguson may run some shifter with us. We're not 100% on that. We got Eric Doan in a cadet and Nathan Heath in a KA 100 senior and Jeremy Heath in a cadet. And Matt Winfrey is going to be running 100 senior also. And maybe a few other people, but it's fun. You know, it's not too big. 4 or 5 people under the tent. It's a little easy to manage and make sure that. Oh yeah, Josh. I see Josh's comment. Josh is going to run Masters. Me and him have had that conversation as we pass each other in the pits. He's ready to come run Masters.
Come on,
so,
Josh. You're like
he's there.
29. There's no room for Masters.
I think we should do like a proper Masters 100cc race at Sonoma last race of the year. Ronnie, everyone, Carl, Gary, get Neil Joseph in there, Kevin Woods, Josh Botafuco. Let's have a proper Masters 100cc race at the end of the year.
Ron's not master, though.
$4 to the winner.
I'm pretty sure if it's me and Gary, we might be leading, but we both won't finish.
And then we're gonna cover it on Monday.
Kevin Wood for the win.
Exactly.
Last race of the year, proper stupid Master 100cc race.
Just give me a shifter. I get bored in the 100, or at least a GP Rock 100.
Won't get bored with
like
class with you.
You could have a cigarette and a beer, and you drive. It's simple.
I need to figure out a way to smoke a cigarette and drink a beer while driving. That's the next step.
Oh, speaking of beer, at the first round of Rock Sonoma after the races, visit
Stop
Tavish
announcing
McGrain.
that. No more announcing that.
Oh no, we rated his ice cooler every race.
Come on, though. Over the past 3 or 4 years, how many times has Tavish been in your pits?
Anyway,
Ron knows me. Hands down.
I sell him parts and I take his beer.
There you go.
Takes my money.
150 grassroots.
Mikey gives me beer though. Mikey's solid. I'll give him credit for that. He leaves Jason never does.
I brought you a couple cases.
You
And then
announce
when Andy gives me a hard time, I bring a bottle so I get 3 more visits. I know the rules.
Oh,
There are rules.
all right. Michoff, go ahead and tell us shout outs,
Well-
plugs. Who are you going to be with this year?
So actually, right now I'm in Florida. I just got done running USPKS with a NorCal driver, Gabby Guadera. I'm her mechanic, and then I do driver coaching and data for her as well as her brother, Seppi. So we just did USPKS, and then this coming week we're doing the Florida Winter Tour in Orlando. After that, I think we're going to do some pro tour, some pro kart, some stuff back east. I think we're going to do a couple more I don't know if we're going to run the whole USPKS or not, but I think we're going to do one more for sure.
So, Michael, give us a race
And
report
then-
because I like those kids.
Yeah, tell us.
Give us a race report. How did it go?
Oh man, so really good. Seppi had pace. He was in the heat races. He was always top 10. So there was 2 heat races. There was the odd and even, and then they would calculate the points, and the top 18 from both the odd and even would go into the main, and then the rest would be in the LCQ. But like Seppi was running top 10, and then there'd be some incidents and unavoidable contact and the whole pushback deal. So unfortunately, he dropped back to the LCQ, and then Gabby, she found herself in some incidents and the heat races, and she ended up not making the main either. But I mean, overall, it was a good weekend. We kept progressing, and that's our main focus right now is just the driver coaching. You know, that's the hardest part is getting the driver to be able to hit the same marks every lap, consistency, racecraft. When you're in a class with 40-something drivers, racecraft is extremely important. So our main goal is just racecraft and working on their driving, and we've been having nothing but progression. So I think same track this coming weekend, different engine package. I think we'll have better results for sure now that both the kids have been running the track all last week. I think they have a better shot now that they know it.
Very cool.
And side note, also, I want to give a shout out because I don't think he said it earlier, but Michael has also represented Team USA at the World, was it Rotax Worlds?
Rotax Grand Finals, yeah.
Yes.
This Michael?
Yeah.
Really?
Long
Yeah.
time ago.
And everyone,
Wow.
that's why we have Ashley on the show?
Yeah.
Wait, what year?
And it was in Portugal.
Okay.
Nice.
2015.
Yeah.
That's cool.
See, why didn't you drop that at the beginning?
Because I didn't remember until he said LCQ.
No,
and
you,
then I
Michael.
remembered that he won the LCQ at Worlds when he was in Portugal.
That don't
No,
sound
Michael-
as good.
Michael
You should
should've
have stopped
dropped that.
before that.
That's why I
We're-
didn't
we're
say
talking,
it.
We're talking team owners and mechanics, not driving. I didn't know I was here to
You-
talk
Well,
about.
you
yeah,
shouldn't
but
have-
you
driver I
got
used to be.
cred. You got
And here
cred.
comes
bruh.
our Rotax savant is Andy Saisman. 2015, dropping the Rotax knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah, Andy was the ambassador, and I think I had Andy have to go and talk with the race stewards for my class 2 or 3 times. Andy had to
About
walk
the
in there
drop
with
down?
me no, we didn't have drop downs at the time, but it was for moving some kids. I actually the first time I missed my driver's briefing. So I got in trouble for missing my driver's briefing, and me and Andy had to walk in the room and I had to talk to the 4 stewards. And then the other time was for moving some kids out of the way. Yeah. It happens. Emotions
Andy
get
said,
to you.
I'm never lost in the steward's office.
Yeah, that's true.
That's funny.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Good time.
And then Ron did some pretty cool stuff too, didn't you, Ron?
Yeah, I mean, I've raced. I raced over in Europe for CRG in France, Belgium, Italy. I won in the European Championship in Southern Italy. I won one of the rounds. I get a second the next one. Probably would have won the championship, but then we broke a couple engines. And then I ended up racing. That was a whole European Championship for KZ. And then I've raced Pro Mazda, Z-Tech cars. Tried to go to run Indy Lights, and tried to run IndyCar stuff. So kind of stopped about Indy Lights and so on. So I
Have
need a
you
little
ever
bit
been to
more.
Malibu Grand Prix?
Driver to
Dude,
win.
I got thrown out of the Malibu Grand Prix, and my picture got posted on the wall, never to come back again. Escorted out by the police. So that was not good.
Right. Was that the one in Oakland?
The one over in
on Woodside.
San Jose, off of 101.
Yeah, 101 at Woodside.
Basically, yeah, me and my buddy were racing. Well, they give you a little bit of a head start. There has a set SS. I drove straight through the grass and passed them, slide jobbed them, kept on going. They were not happy. I laughed so hard. It was the best time ever. So it was good. So yeah, I've raced that and got thrown out of Malibu Grand Prix.
So are you up? Are you up for doing like a NorCal Karter Ron White miniseries like we did with GFC a couple years ago?
We can
Are
do
you up
that.
for that?
Why not?
Like just sit there and talk about yourself. You're good with that?
I don't know about that. Maybe not too long. A little bit's all right. A little too much is not good.
Too much?
I'm
No,
not
I
too
think it'd be fun though because I think a lot of people don't realize. Like I didn't realize Michoff went to the Road Tax Worlds.
I didn't know that either.
I know.
So,
Yeah. Like that would have been if it was me. If I did anything worth a shit, that'd be my intro. Hi, I'm Michoff, and I went to the Road Tax Worlds. All right, that's my intro.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, so we'll do the Ron White mini series and get into the. I mean, you've been around karting forever.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've done it at a pretty high level, and it's like I enjoy doing it. And yeah, I've got to travel a lot of places in the U.S., the world, and it's like it's mainly going from the hotel to the track. But at the end of the day, I've gotten to see a lot of good things along the way.
Okay,
Met a lot of good
that's
people.
one of my questions. Sorry, Ashley, we're going over. But that's one of my questions that I've wanted to ask, and you just brought it up.
I know.
We'll start with Tavish. Where is the most interesting or exciting place you've been because of karting?
Hands down, Italy. I mean, going to the Rock World Finals in Lonato, that was phenomenal. Hands down, the best place. They actually care about racing there.
Yeah. Ron White?
Me, probably East Coast Canada when you went to Barrie Grand Prix. And also, definitely the street race over there. So the Canadian fans are hugely into it. You get to go from the street course downtown, and it is a party and is a good time. So for me, it's like a pretty good atmosphere, and the people are really into the motorsports.
Very cool. Michael Michoff.
Hey, now I get to talk about the grand finals. For me, it was definitely
okay. Time's up.
Yeah, no, I just that was the one and only event where I truly felt like that was probably the closest I'll ever get to how it would feel like to be a real race car driver, like Formula One type stuff. It was just incredible the amount of professionalism. They had everything perfectly down to I mean, just the fact that they have all the carts on the track, and you show up and you get a raffle ticket, and it gives you a number, and that's your cart and engine package. And then it's just the way everything was set up. It was the most professional event I've ever been to. It made me feel like I was a superstar, and it was great being a 15-year-old kid going to something like that. It was cool.
Very cool. Carl Fries.
Gosh, I don't know. But back when I was racing, I didn't have the luxury to go to a lot of places because I still had a family and I didn't get to do a ton of travel. But I mean, I would just say the Pro Tour, Indiana, is always pretty cool to go. I've been to a lot of Formula One races back there when they used to run. But I just enjoy going to all the tracks, honestly. Just the time I get to spend with Anthony, either going to the events or the time that we have away from the track at the event. You know, I still remember Lancaster Grand Prix was always on Anthony's birthday weekend. So, I mean, talking about taking a group of little kids, you know, Oliver Calvo, Hunter Kelly, Anthony, a whole group of little gremlins out for pizza, you know, at a place that has bumper cars and other stuff, you know. So it's like those are the times like that's the funnest stuff for me. So, but that's about it.
And that's kind of the stuff I wanted to get into with this show. Is like the background stories, because it's like, for me, it's like I remember a few moments of actual on track racing, but most of my memories that I really carry with me are the ones off the track.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think Atwater for me is that because we used to like camp in our motorhome in like the like parking lot across the track. And so it was always like a party over here after we just got done. Like, I mean, with me, it was always like we were scoring or working the scales or collecting transponders or whatever. And then we just had like the barbecue afterwards. So I haven't gone far, but I do remember like the old school camping at the track, like all that kind of fun stuff. So I do agree with what you're saying, Jason. Like off the track, more memories are made. Yes,
yeah,
Ron.
I mean that's kind of what we remember. It's like we kind of have the photos or whatever from the result of a big race, but it's away from the track, or it's the conversations at the dinner table, and or the friends you meet, and then when you're hanging out on a non-race weekend, like those were sometimes they get blurred, but yeah, that's why I like asking those kind of different questions. Like what's your favorite race? Like, yeah, I'm sure some people want to hear that, but
Rental cars.
rental cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's been a ball.
100%. Every Carter will agree.
Yes.
Rental car. Yeah.
I've even had stories about rental cars.
Honestly, every time I get into rental carts or indoor stuff with other karters, I fear more for my safety than I do on the real racetrack.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it just every time it's like, oh, this is gonna hurt. Like something's gonna happen and this is gonna hurt.
We're not out there to try and see who can get fast lap.
No.
And it doesn't matter if we wreck these carts, essentially, is what you also think.
You don't have to.
Well, they got bumpers around them. They got bumpers. They're
bumpers.
okay.
I thought that's what they were meant for.
Oh, I think one of my hardest hits in a cart was in an indoor place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had bruises on my shoulders and my chest, and just think I had a concussion, and that was thanks to Rainey at Swede Tech.
Oh, I get a story. No, the best story. Hey, Chicago, Rainey, you, me, and when we went out that night with Rainey.
Which one?
Remember the Chicago show we went to, you and I, and we got Rainey on stage. Come on, you got to remember.
The Kart Expo.
The Kart Expo. We went to the Kart Expo. We got Rainey on stage, and he got literally beat with a girl with a belt on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
he was in his underwear.
I've been to a Kart Expo also.
You know what though? It's like I love Chicago because of that Kart Expo. It was always like in February.
I'll never forget that ever in my life. That vision of him getting beat and chased around the stage by some girl that hated men. I was like, oh my God, this was the best money I've ever spent in my life to that girl. She abused poor Rainey.
Oh,
we laughed. Rainey did not laugh. He was scared. I felt
like
bad.
Oh my gosh. All right, Jason, we do have to close at some point today.
All right.
All right.
Who wants to close us out? I'm gonna let Ashley close out the show tonight on our end, but for our guests, who wants to exit first? Tavish, you awake?
I'm awake.
Yeah, I'm awake.
Keep saying I'm asleep.
Everybody's awake about the Kart Expo story.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best. I'll give you better details on it. Not online. Not online.
I don't know.
Don't ask me.
Rotax World Finals NOLA after party. I got some stories from that one.
Nice.
All right. So we're gonna close out. Carl, you can go first since you're at the top. If you wanna just wait, you don't have to exit all the way, but we'll take you off the screen, okay?
Oh, you guys just close.
So stay in the lobby, please.
Yes, I will. I'm enjoying
Yeah.
it. Yeah, no, I'd like to say that first off, I love karting. I love all the people I meet at the track. It's definitely fierce competition, but it's still a brotherhood, I believe. And I mean, I've been able to walk over Ronnie's pit and get parts, not a problem. And, I think that pretty much says a lot that most of the guys, yes, we are individual teams and we're competing, but at the end of the day, we all love the sport. We all love what we're doing. And that's what keeps me doing it.
All right. Thanks, Carl.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you in a sec.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Tavish, you want to go next?
Well, Carl kind of put it the best way, just the community behind all of it. Just knowing I can get parts from any team, any chassis, whatever I'm running, knowing that we're all here just to have fun. We want to win. Yes, we all want to win, but we're doing it to have fun. And I just love that community, and that's why I'm never going to leave the sport.
All right. Thanks, Tavish. We'll see you in a sec.
Yeah, I would say myself, it's the people involved are definitely very competitive, like they said. I love the competition, and I look forward to next race trying to make our stuff better to beat everybody. So everybody might get frustrated, but it's enjoyable. So you guys have a good night, and thanks for having me on here.
Thanks, Ron. We'll
Stay in the
see
lobby.
Oh,
You just cut him off.
I did. All right. Michoff?
No, I just wanted to make one very very strong point. Just remember, if your driver's ever going slow, it's never the driver's fault. It's always either the mechanic, chassis, the engine, or the weather conditions. It's never the driver.
Oh my goodness, this kid. I've known him since he was a kid, and trust me, he's come a long way. All right, Jimmy, we'll see you in a sec.
All right.
All right.
All right. You're
It
gonna
was
close it
one
out, so I'm
time,
going.
Andy. It was one time. I hit the button too fast. All right. So, Junior's show. We do have a potential date in April. We have an open, we don't have an open call yet. Okay. But send me your info because there is already a list. Okay. We do have open calls for Prairie City drivers and CCKRA drivers to do some race recap shows. We will have Andy on again at the end of the month. So your favorite guy will be back. But we'll talk about the challenge race that happens in our house at Sonoma. And as always, if you want to talk about karting, come on my show. Peace, NorCal. All right, Jason.
All right. I'm going to wrap up the show here. Thank you for watching tonight. Again, this is the Mechanic Show. However, most of our guests were team owners. And thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the comments. And if you want to be on the show, reach out to Ashley, send her a message. So it's the live streams have been going really well. We're pretty consistent with the NorCal Mondays. So again, this is Ashley's project, the NorCal Mondays. So reach out to her if you want to be on the show, if you want to be a guest, if you have ideas. And some of the things that are going to change here a little bit in the future. Ashley really wants to just like grab this thing. So she's going to run with the NorCal Monday show, which is going to allow me to free up the times to get back to some of my how-to videos and more of the YouTube resources. Again, the resources are going to be more for the new karter to get new people into the sport. Maybe take a load off some of the shops where they get overburdened with some of the simple questions. That's going to be the point of NorCal Karters. So, hey, Andy, we just addressed that. The host is changing. So, so over the next few months, you're going to see a little bit of a change. So it's as far as, again, if you have a show, if you have an idea, if you want to be a guest, reach out to Ashley. And, man, it is so much fun to get to know all of our guests. And with that being said, I'm pretty good at rambling, so I'm going to cut myself off. Just remember, if we all get one person into the sport, we'll double by next year. So that's the point. That is the true point of NorCal Karters. The stories are fun. The guests are fun. But the whole point of NorCal Karters is how do we grow the sport? How do we get asses in the seat? How do we get more people at the tracks? So that's it. NorCalKarters.com. Go check it out. Thank you for watching. And if you like what we're doing, subscribe to our channels, share the episodes, and we will see you guys next Monday at 7:30.